We're excited to be here today in Phoenix. I am Megan Moore, and I'm a special advisor to Mel Watt, who's the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and I will moderate today's event. I'm pleased to see so many folks here in the audience today because we really need your help to get the word out about HARP. So what is HARP? HARP was created by FHFA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac and the Treasury Department in 2009 as a way to create refinance opportunities for homeowners that had a solid payment history but had little to no equity in their homes. Since the program started in March 2009, we have completed more than 3.3 million HARP refinances nationwide. Our estimates show that this savings has helped borrowers save nearly $200 a month or $2,400 a year. And as you can see here in the Phoenix area, borrowers can save even more. They can save up to $212 a month, which is more than $2,500 a year. I'm sure we can find something to do with an extra $2,500. So those numbers are good because it means those borrowers are lowering their monthly payments, but there are still many, many more who are eligible for this program who have yet to take advantage of it. And that's what we want to talk to you about today. Statewide, there are nearly 19,000 Arizona homeowners, including more than 10,000 in the Phoenix area, who are still eligible for HARP and have a financial incentive to refinance. We call these the in-the-money borrowers. As a matter of fact, this area has the 8th highest concentration of these in-the-money borrowers in the entire country. Well, I'm here to tell you one thing. If there's one thing you take from this event, HARP is not a scam. HARP is a program that can save real borrowers real money every month. And so we're here to share with you some of the most important information you need to know so that you can help your community discern fact from fiction. As trusted community advisors, you can act as a bridge and help point borrowers in the right direction.
So if you have a borrower who's saying, well, you know what, I'm current, I'm keeping my head low, hoping everything works out, I'm making them, that's all I want to do. This is free money. We actually had a customer, a couple who knew this thing was about to go left. You know, they were having difficulties. They didn't know what to do. They actually went to our Borrower Help Center partners and said, okay, you know, what is there? They were actually able to work with Reginald's group to get $48,000 in principal and arrearage reduction, and then wait a 12-month period, and then HARP that same loan for an additional $400 a month reduction.
But I've also been with the program since its inception back in 2009. And I've seen firsthand how this program can help change people's lives. You can work with any lender out there that does HARP refinances. And Fannie Mae has done a nice job at actually putting lenders that we work with out on our website called knowyouroptions.com. And there was a lot of changes that have been made throughout the years, but one of the main changes is that we lifted the LTV maximum. So right now, whether you have a loan-to-value ratio of 90% or 200%, you still can qualify.
We want to make sure you guys help us spread the word. This is not a gimmick. This is for real. You can save money. And even if you've been told no before, you may be hearing a yes now.
The Making Home Affordable program, along with HARP, has been extended through December 31st, 2016. So one of the things at Treasury that we're really focused on this year is making sure that we get that word out, that there is still help available for the homeowners who are struggling to make their mortgage payment.
One of the smartest things that Treasury did was establish the Hardest Hit Fund program, and Arizona is a recipient of some of those funds. I believe over $200 million has come to the state of Arizona. They've been working with borrowers tirelessly since then. You could tell a few minutes about how your program, the Principal Assistance Program, works in concert with Treasury, with HAMP, with HARP, and just talk a little bit about how borrowers can learn more about that program.
We have assisted some consumers, I want to touch on briefly, with the monthly mortgage assistance who currently, for whatever reason, right, can't afford their mortgage payment and therefore can't afford to refinance, period. Our program will subsidize their monthly mortgage payment up to $2,000 a month for as long as 24 months. And we've had a number of consumers enter the program in that aspect, receive assistance for a period of time, and then move on to a principal reduction refinance.
Reginald, can you repeat the website where homeowners can go to apply for the program?
Yes, azhousing.gov. azhousing.gov. Just look down to the left-hand side of the webpage. You will see the logo, Save Our Home AZ. You'll see a hyperlink that says online self-assessment.
And learning the eligibility criteria is important. What we try to do with the HARP program is a way that we have these numbers. We have an interactive online map on harp.gov, and you can find all the way down to the zip code where these people live. So while we can't give you their name and their address, you can go to Arizona, you'll get the bigger number of the eligibility. Then you can even dwindle it down to the county, Maricopa County, and then you can dwindle it down even more to the MSA, and then even further to the zip code. And I think what we were trying to do is help you all be as targeted as possible, so when you're doing outreach events, when you're engaging with people, check our map, figure out what zip code your event's going to be in, and you might have, 5 people who are eligible, but on the upwards, you might have 500, 600, even 1,000 HARP eligible homeowners in those zip codes.
And just as a side to that, harp.gov also links to Fannie and Freddie Mac's website. So rather than remembering whether they go to Fannie or Freddie, you can just go to harp.gov and you can link into our websites. And that's also another way for you to go to that harp.gov website to determine if you're qualified or eligible for HARP.
This is a lot to navigate. I mean, it's all there, but you have to go where to go, which program, what have you. Yeah. It's hard, and they're struggling. So, when all of us are under stress, you don't want to go to 6 different websites to try to figure out, what's going on. You need someone to help you navigate, and that's why you all are so important to them, to help them figure this out.
Some people actually go to their savings because they're very conscientious around making those payments, keeping their payments up, staying current, but they lose their job along the way because there's been a reduction in their whatever they're doing. Can you talk about the employment requirement for HARP? Because I think it's amazing to me that HARP has evolved to the point where even people that don't actually have a job at the point in time can qualify.
From a Fannie Mae perspective, we're not actually confirming your employment. What we're confirming is a source of income, right? So that you actually have income coming in to support continuing making the mortgage payments after that refinance is done.
We actually don't ask for employment either. It's just we have to verify the source of income, that there is one.
I know there's been a lot of questions by consumers asking if they can redo another HARP. They've locked in 2009 when the rates were 5.5%. They're down to low 4% range now, and they feel kind of slighted that they don't have an opportunity to do it again. Has that conversation come up, and are you guys considering that?
So unfortunately, no. The program is once you HARP, then unfortunately you can't HARP for a second time.
Just because you've HARPed previously doesn't mean that you can't receive the Save Our Home AZ assistance.
Right.
And again, you'd go through the same process of requesting a certificate like you're seeking a HARP. You will be advised that you can't receive a HARP because you've previously HARPed, but you may still be able to receive the principal reduction assistance. You may still be able to receive a reamortization of your loan, which would still not only produce a reduction of principal, but a reduction of payment along those exact same lines.
Things have evolved. People are confused. They don't know who to believe. So what would you tell people that have been HAMP that have really low rates at this point in time?
You have to really lay out pros and cons and your current situation and your current rate and how long that HAMP modification is going to stay in place, and then once it changes, what does it actually go up to, and does it step over, how many years? That borrower really should be working with a trusted advisor.
So if you are in a HAMP modification and you're going to experience an increase in your interest rate for your mortgage, what options are available for those borrowers who may not be able to absorb that payment increase?
We have options out there for borrowers who maybe just need to see a little bit more room in their budget, about $50, or borrowers who are really struggling with that payment and need an additional assistance option. They can go through HAMP Tier 2. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, if they're looking at their situation and this housing situation is really not the right one, they can apply for a short sale or deed in lieu if they're still underwater and receive $10,000 in relocation assistance.
We haven't talked about something out there called private mortgage insurance that I know is keeping some borrowers from applying for a HARP refinance. The good thing about HARP is that if you're not currently paying private mortgage insurance, even if your loan to value is not above 80% when you refinance, you don't have to pay private mortgage insurance. That's a huge help. That's more savings.
I think the message is just help us get the word out, please.
Major key to any successful relationship is communication. Please help us communicate.
So if you don't remember everything that you heard today, a lot of that information is in the toolkit, all the helpful websites. Thank you guys for coming today. I really appreciate it.